Hey, party people. So this month we are reviewing Kingdom Hearts 3. So I got to be upfront with you. I am not impartial about this game. I've played a lot of them. I even have it tatted on me. I'm a big fan. But let's get into it. So Kingdom Hearts 3 came out January 25th, 2019. Right now, it's going for $59.99, of course, and $49.99 used. That's GameStop prices, so maybe you can find it cheaper elsewhere, but that's what I go by. Um, I have played like a good 30, 40 hours of this game. I've spent a lot of time flying and just exploring and enjoying the world. So I just really love what they did with these games. I like how they took a Disney product, but were able to deliver it not only to a child audience, but an adult audience that played the game back in the 90s and really loved, or not played the game, saw the shows back in the 90s and the movies back in the 90s and really enjoyed those as well. As for this game, it's kind of like an action platformer kind of deal. It does have a couple of RPG elements in the combat. So the combat is very much like run into enemies, and it's not like Final Fantasy where it's like press A to attack. At least it's not like that in that you have to wait and then you attack and then Donald attacks and then Goofy attacks. It's not like that. It's like you press A to attack and you're swinging your sword and comboing and using those combos to chain things together to make these like epic scenes almost play out in the middle of the game. There's also a little bit of magic, which is common in games like this and in the pseudo Japanese fare that this game is. And then there's these cool transformations. Now that was introduced in the second game, and if you haven't played the second game, I highly recommend the whole series. The first game came out back in 2002, and even though it's been about a I think it's been 17 years since then, but it's been a decade since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. So it's been a very long time, chronologically speaking, since a game has come out. What was I saying? But anyway, so when you're playing, you can transform into these new I don't know what to call them because it's just the Keyblade that transforms instead of Sora like in the second game, like I was saying. But it's like these new they're just transformations, whatever we'll call them that. But each Keyblade offers new transformations, and there's attacks where you kind of take control of these rides that were from Disney World. And I've been fortunate enough to go to Disney World in my lifetime, so I recognize some of them, and it's so cool to see, like, you jump into the teacups as Sora and spin around and kill all your enemies. That's kind of what I mean by RPG, where you can build him in a certain way where he's stronger physically or magically, and that's dealt with more early in the game. But I went with more of a balance, but then a focus on melee because you're swinging around that Keyblade. And it's a lot of fun. You get a Keyblade for every world. This is pretty common in all of the games. The loop is you go to a world that is inspired by a Disney zone. So in this game, you have places like Frozen, and you have Big Hero 6 and Toy Story, Monsters Inc., places like that. And there's a crisis. These creatures called the Heartless, they're making a problem, or maybe like one of the enemies from these worlds is doing something evil, and you have to involve yourself in it. So like Sully might need your help. And anyway, Sora and Donald and Goofy will go to that world, fix the problem. And after fixing the problem, you get a Keyblade, and that unlocks new moves and skill sets. And you can choose those and upgrade them as you want. As for the platforming aspect, there's a few jumping areas. There's a lot of like hidden locations and things like that. It's not Assassin's Creed level, but there's a little bit of it in there. It's nothing to shake your head at. It's not a big deal. As for the plot, it's okay. So the problem with describing the plot to Kingdom Hearts is I have to like go back to the beginning, and that's a different video that other people have already done. I mean, the game's been out for a while, and I'm also not a lore master when it comes to this. But this game's plot is that, again, you're Sora, and you, Donald, and Goofy are trying to help Sora rekindle get the power of awakening, and it's this skill that he needs to fight the darkness, and it's going to be useful in this final battle against the darkness. And while he's doing that, you have his compatriots from the other games who are now also Keyblade wielders, Riku and Kairi, who are training separately. Riku with Mickey and he's not training. He's actually succeeded. He's past Sora in terms of skill, and he's doing like real missions with real Keyblade masters. And Kairi is training with Axel to be a Keyblade master. So you go out and you do all of these worlds, and there's, I believe, 6 or 7. And then you have a final battle with Darkness, and you're fighting the Organization 13 again, but this is the quote-unquote real Organization 13. The one you beat earlier was like a cover and convoluted plot, which I won't spoil, but anyway, you end up fighting them and Xehanort as like the final big bad. That's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. I don't want to give away too much. I also don't want to spoil all of the worlds, but basically that's the whole of it. You do still have a gummy ship. That's kind of an add-on, and you get to fly around through the worlds. The combat is different. The combat's much more like what is it, Galaga? It's the ships like line up, asteroids. It's much more like asteroids, and you just shoot at the ships. I actually liked it. I didn't think it was that bad. I never was huge into it, but I did do some exploring, actually, because I thought the combat was interesting. It wasn't my favorite, obviously, but I don't think that was the point. All in all, if I had to try to be objective, I would say that there are a few flaws with this game, for all that it does good, because it's really ironed out. Like, its combat mechanics, it's really ironed out. Its movement, how it flows from move to move, like the weird anime combos where you're like flipping all over the screen and teleporting and shit. Those feel natural, but it didn't get over the like anime game syndrome of cutscene, walk 10 feet, cutscene. Now, some people can deal with that, and some people that's their ish, but for me, I want to feel like cutscenes lend to like the organic story that is being told. I want to feel like kind of like what Spider-Man did. You can see it on the live stream that I did 2 weeks back, but in the beginning, you jump out of a window and it's a cutscene, so you don't have any control, and then you're instantly handed control and you're web slinging through New York, and it's just this really cool feeling of being Spider-Man. And this game, and this is common in anime games, but it really just it cut that up with a lot of cutscenes that were strung together by like hallways or one very short combat scene or something like that. It wasn't very flowy in that regard. That would be my biggest gripe. I mean, mechanically, there were a few problems with the animations. You had lip sync issues a lot, actually. Pretty much any scene where you can see them like face on, there's some kind of lip sync issue. But my theory is that the game was shot in Japanese, and I don't have any proof of this, and then dubbed in English. I'm not sure, but that's just what it seems to be, because it looks like they're speaking a different language. All in all, though, those are minor issues, like really minor issues. It's a beautiful game. I think if you're a fan, you already own it, and I'm preaching to the choir. You're looking forward to the DLC that might be released, because I know they said it's the quote unquote end, but as all of you know, again, fans, there's a cutscene if you collect all the Mickey things, and that kind of lends itself to, are we gonna get more? But for everybody that isn't a fan, the story is going to be daunting. Like I think that's going to be a big barrier to entry. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on 90% of the time? And that's going to be disengaging. And if you're not into the whole anime thing, the cutscenes are going to kind of bug you. Luckily, you can skip them, but let's be real. I mean, if you're watching them for the Disney stuff, you're not going to want to skip the cutscenes. And it's just going to be a lot to get used to, I think, if you're not used to it. All in all, and it's not like any of these number scales mean anything, but I'd give it like, I don't know, 4 keys out of 5. And that's just me trying to be objective. I don't really know. So, go out and buy it if it's affordable for you. I highly recommend it. Maybe if you're just jumping into it now, maybe go back and read some of those lore videos, those YouTube videos, and they can explain what you've missed, and then you can give it a shot. But again, 4 out of 5, great game. Most places rate it way higher than that, but maybe I'm overcompensating on being objective. I'm not sure, but highly recommend it. Go out and give it a shot. Maybe watch some gameplay videos. At the very minimum, it's a lot of fun to run around next to Elsa, or like, I don't think Mulan's in this one, but or Sully or oh my goodness, who am I forget? Buzz Lightyear. There you go, and just beat up evil dudes. So again, check it out, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys checking us out. We're going to be doing this monthly. There's also going to be the podcast that's going to drop at the same time, and then the live stream. This month we're doing Borderlands, so keep your eyes out, and thanks for watching.